Let's see where we're going to go for Game 4 between Team Freedom and HeroesHearth. Team Freedom getting a very important victory, and let's see if they can keep that momentum going into Towers of Doom, chosen by HeroesHearth.
Yeah, it's definitely a favorite, a comfort pick. The Battlefield, again, I think would have just been a matter of could you make Team Freedom uncomfortable, but if you want to go something that makes sense, then Towers of Doom is there. We'll see if that global is played around. We've seen a lot of Dahaka, and that role situation that we see with Team Freedom, how does that, you know, affect the draft? Can you ban somebody out if you have two members on the other team that are constantly switching those roles between that solo? So that'll be something to consider. Hanzo on this battleground, this is another good battleground for him. The scatter arrows on this, there's always going to be areas where you're fighting, good ways to get scatter arrows off. We'll see if that comes in again, because that was very successful for Lutano.
It's a great Genji map too.
Yeah.
And Talking Trees has shown us some X-Strike play. He's shown us his Dragon Blade, which was especially good. But last time we saw a global centered battleground, both Abathur and Dahaka were banned out. Didn't end up getting Falstad, saw the ETC stage dive, but I don't know if I want the same. I feel like if they're gonna do that, they need to make sure that there's no Malfurion on the other side. There's just a lot of very good, strong heroes to consider.
Abathur, I think, was the one that we expected, and then they knew Talking Trees. I think maybe HeroesHearth was thinking they could get away with one, but everybody knows who Talking Trees is in the competitive scene. Banning out the Abathur, this is still another Abathur battleground that might warrant a first ban.
We'll find out. Last time, Team Freedom took a little bit of time to make sure that they were, nope.
They don't want anything to do with the Abba.
Dahaka?
Well, they have the Blaze priority ban. Team Freedom banned it out last game.
See, this is the interesting thing, is that when we saw the Dahaka Abathur ban, HeroesHearth was first pick, so then they were able to get Blaze. This is not the case. Now, will they give up Blaze, or will they give up Dahaka?
It feels like HeroesHearth, in this battleground in particular, could play around the Dahaka themselves if they opted to, but with Team Freedom, where does that priority really lie, especially when you get on the battleground where the global definitely does have a major impact? So this is the opportunity to see if Team Freedom wants to take the bait.
This is a place I love in series, which is Game 4, Game 5, when it's all on the line and we start seeing teams adapt to each other like that. They'll stick with their Blaze ban.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they would first pick Dahaka. I feel like they're going to probably stray away from it, but I wouldn't be surprised by it at all.
If they pick up Dahaka, then HeroesHearth gets Malfurion, possibly Malf Jaina again.
Yep. And I'm okay with that, but this is going to be the battleground that if we did see something different, maybe the Hanzo comes out on the side of HeroesHearth, and then also maybe that Li Ming that we discussed earlier, if it really starts to become a priority, if things really start to show themselves a little bit differently in these drafts. So I feel like everything is on the table for these teams so far from what we've seen between yesterday Team Freedom, today's Team Freedom with all the role changes, but they are prioritizing that Dahaka.
Crowan's Hanzo, Crowan's Jaina, Trees' Genji. So many good things available to HeroesHearth.
I'm just thinking about Mac at this point. Thrall, Sonya are kind of the later ends. Malthael, we just saw that last game, didn't necessarily have the...
It was good, it's just that Last Rites couldn't cut through with Tassadar shields. But otherwise, like, his dodging was good, he was putting a lot of pressure in, the Genji Malthael in the bottom lane initially set up really well.
Malf Jaina seems what HeroesHearth likes to do. They're either going to change it up,
or they're not.
So smart.
Sorry.
That's why I like you. You're so smart.
Sorry. I could not help myself.
Expert analysis.
Hey, they
changed it up, see? Now, does Tassadar get through is the question.
Cool. I'm always excited for a Tracer, man. I'm just pumped. I love the series. I'm having fun.
Well, Map Tracer was kind of the thing that Dignitas ran pretty heavily at the beginning of the year. We've seen some changes. It wasn't necessarily required to have the Tassadar because the Malfurion can kind of continue to give those heals out, but See what HeroesHearth feels there.
So things that can help you with pulse bombs. One, bunker, gone. Tassadar maybe, because he can give the extra shielding. Warp helps yourself.
Phoenix and Karazim, I think, are definitely the two that I would anticipate one or the other, if not both, from Team Freedom.
Yep, Palm. Uther, but not this high up. Potion shields, maybe? Oh, we did this high up.
No man.
All right.
Well, the Hanzo now has come back, and it's kind of been one of those things the first few days where it hasn't really felt that prominent yet, despite the success rate at MSB. And Hanzo, auto attack range nerf, but 6.5 still trades out very well against Tracer. Uther deals with the pulse bomb that you talked about, so there are other options. Now for HeroesHearth, does that change up your draft? Do we get our first look at Lunara since we're back?
HeroesHearth did play her. It was on Tomb and MSB, but Purification Salvo is also a lot
Salvo
to deal
is
with.
another
Like
great
everything.
option.
Phoenix is really hard to deal with.
Especially you get that splash damage at level 1 just on your autos alone, but
Yeah.
Salvo, it does do incredibly well.
And then McIntyre can play Thrall. There's a whole lot of goodness going on from that. We'll see what Freedom bans. They know the limitations of Uther. Stitches ban from HeroesHearth. No Stitches, no Gorge, annoying plays. It is another good battleground where you would see Stitches. If you were to see a Stitches be picked, Towers of Doom is at near the top.
Okay, here's something to consider when you do think about Team Freedom going forward, is that we've already seen the role where Nasmus plays the melee. Their Medivh player, from what we knew historically, was Yoda. And so that it always is a thing that you have to consider with these teams.
I kind of wondered, already seeing the Stitches from Team Freedom, if we would see a Stitches Medivh. But so is HeroesHearth. At least the Stitches. So they say no to that. If HeroesHearth wants Phoenix, this would be the place. Ooh, Diablo. Definitely. Ooh! They get the TAS instead.
Online.
That is a classic HeroesHearth hero duo.
If it was Arthalon, they would have picked the Uther. No, not in this draft. But yeah, the Tassadar coming in, Talking Trees given another round on the TAS. Obviously, Crowin gonna have his work cut out for him. They're going against the Uther, getting those pulse bomb kills early game is gonna be hard. Diving into a Hanzo is gonna be hard. Johanna is something to consider for Team Freedom if they just want that situational control, the interrupts. But Muradin, also a thing of history for Zugrug.
Ready for action.
They win!
I think you lost your pick.
I did. I was so excited. I just
I heard it, and I'm like,
Wait a second. Wait a second.
I've seen this before, Gilly.
It's fight time! Yeah, I know. Brightwing is not in the greatest of places.
See, what had happened was, well, you know, that, yeah, well, you know, I'm gonna let you take this one.
I mean, she's
Look, it makes sense.
she's a global.
Let's think about where it
She's-
objectively fits, right?
Yeah.
So Uther can get the hammer if Tracer gets too close, gives armor for the pulse bomb. Brightwing, kind of the same thing. Polymorph, a little bit better range, but also surprise when you add Pixie Dust, it does give you spell armor. So that's another way to deal with pulse bomb. So those elements that are going to be there are definite ways to mitigate damage. This is kind of very HeroesHearth style that you go double support solo Hanzo. Hanzo has seen a lot of changes, but it's really all in on that Hanzo to do most of the damage. It will probably be a little bit more battle Uther getting Holy Shock to make sure and deal with the Tracer also coming in. We've seen a lot of that at level 4, picking that up. So there are ways. So you got the Pixie Dust and the armor from Uther's heals to deal with pulse bombs? Is it enough to deal with the rest of the damage that will be coming in? Brightwing gives you the aura heals that pulse, Uther, your situational heals. It makes sense in theory, but when we've seen it, and Heroes Hearth is one of the teams that have tried it, I think they have 2 Brightwing games from earlier in the phase, it did not look pretty. But this is a new style that we're trying out.
Instead of Varian with the point-and-click CC versus Tracer,
Yep.
they returned the Brightwing with point-and-click CC. Here's my question. Medivh has Polybomb.
Nah.
Why Brightwing?
Polybomb's too long of a
Look,
cooldown.
I know I'm saying, yeah, unless you're going to get the kill, and it's not that long. Were you memeing?
No, I think that it kinda, but I mean, I still think that's probably a factor. I mean, polymorph versus, so every time Tracer comes in, you can stun, and then if she comes in again, then you poly. By the way, okay, I want to talk about this in particular. So I still remember, and this is way back, right? So when Kroan made his name on Tracer going into the DreamHack Sweden 2 years ago, I remember there was Blackheart's Bay and Towers of Doom, and Gale Force was riding the Kroan train, trying to win that game with Tracer. Do you know the one hero that they kept picking to counter the Tracer?
Brightwing.
It was the Brightwing. So this is a very old school strategy to deal with the same player on the same hero trying to make the same results happen, because Gale Force at that time lost all of those games that Brightwing was picked.
So now let's consider what Brightwing is going to add globally, because you can't, it's not the same kind of global that you would expect from a Dahaka. She is very vulnerable in lane. But if she can stay in a safe lane, which is what we're seeing her be put in the mid, she can be safe there, and then phase shift for Dahaka, with Dahaka to try to get kills, maybe that's another way that they can get something done with the Brightwing. But you're right, there's 25 spell armor on Pixie Dust. You give a free Pixie Dust once you get Peekaboo, and you phase shift in. You also get the phase shield at 7, and you are not sacrificing a cleanse to do so because you're paired with an Uther.
That right there, example number 1. Kroan came in, got the hammer, took an auto, and then took a scatter arrow and walked away with about 20% health. That is going to be what Team Freedom will have to do throughout the entirety of this game. On the other side, that's what Kroan is going to have to deal with through the entirety of this game, and that is not an easy task.
And Polymorph is a silence, so that you can't Nature's Cure Adapt. You can't Nature's Cure Stun.
That's actually a really good point.
All right. Sonic Error spots out that Heroes Hearth is indeed getting their Sapper Camp. Team Freedom already got those. No Pixie Charm, no bribe for this Brightwing. This is all about ensuring that her global is up, often with a Hyper Shift, because you want to have the phase shift up so that you get the benefits from it and the build as it continues along.
There's going to be Pulse Bomb number 1. Armor passed out there by Yoda on that Uther, making sure to keep Lutano pretty healthy. They'll look to get a few more heals in the near future. Full Z build. Will we get Holy Shock? It looks like Yoda's holding it for now. That's generally been the double support option to make sure and get a little bit more damage in from this, which is a team that Brightwing and Uther in the support role do lack a significant amount of damage. Instead, he will go the hammer.
Pursuit of Justice.
Get that movement speed.
Helps you if you need to go in for the stun to be able to back off, especially if he ends up tanking the Diablo combo. There's a lot of CC between Diablo and Thrall too. I'm ready for this first altar activation to see how this is going to work out. Brightwing's going to be the one that heads up to the top, and Dahaka's going to slow things down if he can, but he just got shadow charged by Diablo while the fight, 3v3 happening down here in the bottom, or in the mid, not netting anything just yet.
So right now, the point of contention obviously going to be here. Double global coming in. Once Thrall shows top, which you can see on the mini-map, that will be an opportunity for Dahaka to go in. Dahaka actually lands the drag there. But that will be an opportunity, if he can take advantage of it, to turn that into a 5-on-4. And having double global soak has done really well so far.
Pulse Bomb. In the parting gift, chunks out slightly, but with a heal, Yoda gets Lutana back in the fight. Now Dimensional Shift used already. He has to shield himself, and this should be enough then. With that amount of pressure, the Team Freedom walk away with the win in the altar trade.
That's so very well done. They kept both their globals in lane. And once Dahaka, he ended up getting the drag, delayed a little bit of experience, had a little bit of a trade, saw that there was another minion wave. The minute that second minion wave came in, that was his opportunity. I get this clear because I have better clear than the Thrall at this point in the game. He clears that out, makes use of the global, as does Brightwing, and it's enough to get the fight. There was actually a really good disengage, good roots put down by BBJ to make sure that the drag couldn't land on the Talking Trees, who was shifting away. But it was still enough to keep Heroes Hearth at bay, and Team Freedom comes out ahead.
But the experience really close between these teams. No kills yet, nothing opened up. But for Heroes Hearth, not being able to get some of those early pulse bomb kills is a bit frustrating considering you have the Tracer. But with the sheer amount of supporting that Heroes Hearth has for that Tracer, and the fact that they haven't really brought Thrall in as a way of being able to get some of their damage done. In fact, Thrall taking some damage from that double global.
Thrall's wishing somebody else would come in for help there. He's like, hold on a second, there's a couple globals here, and there's nothing, you can't rotate up to defend that because then the globals can go somewhere else and do even more damage elsewhere without much trade-off. So Kroan still continuing to look for it. There's going to be the hammer going down, and you can see that is the damage. Scatter arrow now finished, getting more arrows out. More potential lethal threat coming out from Lutano as he's continuing to try and bounce those off. There's Kroan again. The parting gift, the armor, enough to keep him alive.
The thing that I really like that we're seeing adjustment-wise from Heroes Hearth is this is not Kala's Light. This is Kala's Embrace. And that as long as they can keep Tracer alive through the secondary couple of stuns and she recalls back, then you have the shield ready so that she can heal right back up and get into the fight. Now Ishbu is coming in, Brightwing too, and we're looking for a good old-fashioned battle. Thrall is not here. Team Freedom is using these globals for a man advantage.
There's the drag, there's the stun, there's the poly, but it's not enough to get the takedown yet. Kroan gets the shield, and he's getting that bonus healing you were talking about. Now he's trying to be the aggressor. Dwarf toss out there by Zuggerug. I think even a cleanse was used in there as well. There's going to be another shift in, providing the shield, providing the vision from Collusion on Brightwing.
Fight over this altar, nobody quite at 10, triple root. Yeah. McIntyre's wishing he had taken an Alpha Wolf. Or not Alpha Wolf, Frost Wolf pack. Either way, the stacking for that, because that was a great root.
Ooh, BBJ actually canceled that, and Ishbu kind of threw Zuggerug away. Probably still a safe bet to get away from that scatter arrow. Still trying to find it smart. Kroan going in, getting damage. There's going to be a shield, dodging the drag, dodging the scatter arrow, finding an opportunity. Another Z in. Remember, that is, you get the cooldown reduction based on the heroes you heal, and you are grouped up right now. So you will have that quite frequently, as we've seen that used twice already in this fight.
BBJ starting the channel, great stun from Ishbu. And flip back over. BBJ is going to head forward because he wants to make sure that Kroan is consistently healed. Kroan uses his recall. The shield had to be used on McIntyre, and though that stun hits, it's keeping McIntyre alive for the moment with Nasmus coming in. Drag lands, and McIntyre goes down.
Yeah, they got to get out of here. 10's about to be picked up. There's going to be a drag. The Nature's Cure is going to be there. Souls are gone. 10 is picked up, and that's going to be another altar going over here to the Brightwing Uther composition. It's working so well, and Gilly, you're excited.
Yeah, I was hoping for Blink Heal because Earthquake might have been scary. Yes, Emerald Wind is a really good zoning tool, but repositioning for Brightwing from the displacement and the slows of Heroes Hearth. Nice to see that change up for Brightwing.
Well, that, and if you're trying to save a single target from a pulse bomb, that's a good way to get targeted heals. There's going to be a stun going down. Dimensional shift out by trees. 10's picked up on both sides. This game is getting interesting, and you know Heroes Hearth has got to be feeling the heat because they have been unable to secure a kill, and it is not due to the lack of trying.
Hey, Jay-How, were you expecting to see a different Hanzo build, like the auto attack build with Redemption, and then, well, mainly just Redemption so that you have faster auto attacks versus Tracer, or were you still expecting to see the Scatter Arrow build?
Because it's Towers of Doom, I think Scatter Arrow build generally wins out just because you have so many opportunities, and getting the cooldown reduction obviously at 7 is going to be there. It just comes a little bit slower without Redemption, but Lutano has been quite proficient in landing those, and you can see that every time that anybody's near a wall, they are very much aware, and you can see Kroan dancing around on that. He's actually baiting them out. He was doing that in that bottom area, trying to bait out the scatter arrows. It has higher potential, single target burst potential. I think that's something they're going to be looking for. So it's something we haven't seen in a bit, especially since the change to the auto attack range. And so I'm still waiting for that to be busted out. But yeah, I agree with you. I still think it has a place. It's just the teams aren't seeing it yet. And we'll see if it's more of a niche situation or whether it's just a, hey, we'll keep this away probably for a rainy day.
Well, now that Hammer of the Lightbringer is done, that's even scarier for Crowan. And though the Blink heal will give the burst heal and the repositioning for Brightwing, it does come at the cost of not having Emerald Wind for possible boss fights later on, or the disengage. Brightwing's going to come in now. We haven't seen a stock yet from Dahaka, but we know the altars will be activating in the mid and bot. It's Team Freedom, actually it's Team Freedom and Heroes Hearth who are tied with the core health. So we've got a very close game 4 going on here.
Yeah, everybody's coming down. You can see Thrall finally making the rotation, was trying to deal with the sappers, so the rest of the team will keep busy trying to get the interrupt. We fall into a similar situation where just ahead is Team Freedom in the experience in case this does start to go to the next talent here. Crowan, there's going to be the dodge. Actually, he did get hit just barely by the Thunderclap. There's going to be the Pulse Bomb. It's going to go out. Shield comes in. Blink heal. Lutano healed right back up. There's going to be the stun coming in from Yoda. There's going to be the Scatter Arrow hit. The Storm Bolt's going to hit. And that's the scary part for Crowan, Gilly.
That it is, and he was getting as much attacking as he could on the minions with the shield that he had. And there's going to be the face shield that will help heal him all the way back up. But no heroic abilities from either side used there except for the Pulse Bomb. Another stun. Yoda has a lot of those to give.
Yeah, that's that situation where Holy Shock would have been particularly interesting to pick up. There's going to be the root. Pixie Dust used onto Zugra, giving him some movement speed, some spell armor, so he gets out of there. Still providing the heals. Dahaka and Thrall, you can see on the minimap, they're just kind of casually looking at each other. There's going to be another shift in. Heal provided. Ishbu going in right away. Polymorph in response.
Yeah, I almost think that this is going to be a Shadow Charge build for Ishbu with how much healing he has had to do with these charges. Lightning Breath, he is really low, very low in health. Malfurion doing everything he can to keep him alive, but he is slammed to the ground as Zugra Dwarf tosses out.
BBJ unfortunately had no mana left. Crowan, however, putting pressure onto Nasmus. Sonic Arrow gets the interrupt. Nasmus used his essence. Crowan looking for an opportunity, working on a new Pulse Bomb. McIntyre eating the Scatter Arrow. He's trying to trade in, but nice polymorph there by Collusion. Blink heal over, and that was a scary moment. But the polymorph keeping him at bay. This composition far more effective than I anticipated.
Yeah, same. It's working out to Team Freedom's advantage, and we haven't yet hit the later stages of damage for Thrall. Possibly for Diablo 2, depending on what he wants to go into. I'm not sure if we'll see damage reduction or if we will again see Shadow Charge build and then Domination. He's had to charge so many people off of his teammates. I almost think maybe we're going to see Domination, but we'll have to see. So far, though, Team Freedom is starting to get further a lead into this game, and they're making a case for a reverse sweep.
Well, if Crowan thought his job of getting kills was hard, Gilly, it's even harder now because Uther picked up Spell Armor, Spell Shield at 1. You can activate that for a Pulse Bomb. Brightwing has Ice Block, and speaking of Ice Block, it's going to be their Collusion. Blinks out for a heal, blinks out again, somehow survives. Collusion, God, he said Karazim, what? And hit him with the B-step, hit him with the spray. Collusion, show me what you got.
That is the best feeling with Blink Heal, because not only can you get yourself out of those situations, a lot of times you can get teammates out of those situations. I will caution that sometimes you think you're a god and you can't get someone out of a situation, but Blink Heal is so fun.
Do you realize how many style points he just got?
I do.
Like,
Brightwing's my favorite hero. I do.
He blinked to the minion, blinked to a hero, got a little bit of healing, sprayed on his way out. God, that was so pretty.
He's pretty cool. Next, Altars starting Team Freedom got the boss, which gets them further ahead, 20-32. Heroes Hearth need to find some answers.
Ishbu's been spotted. Lutano, they're going to have a little bit of support here. There's going to be the root. There's going to be the earthquake. Polymorph's going to be in there. McIntyre trying to get on there. D-Shield used as the Pulse Bomb goes out. Ice Block one more time. Collusion with the blink out, and this is way too hard to get the kill. Lightning Breath there. This time around, we do have a Tranquility, and that might be enough. Nasmus somehow survives and gets out.
Parting Gift did some damage to him, but it wasn't enough to secure the kill. Even still, Dragon's Arrow went all the way through Heroes Hearth Esports. Heroes Hearth wants to invade, wants to get both of the altars here. Crowan's been found on one side. Freedom are hoping for a pincer, but Nasmus is still low in this, despite the double support because of the separation. One support on either side, Yoda taking a while to be able to heal him back up, and Nasmus is going to go back. stopped.
Armor's going to be there, and Yoda survives. Nazma's just kind of chilling Yoda. He's going to Hearth back. They might have to concede this. Health bar is getting a little bit low despite the double support. Scatter Arrow, we're going to see if they can eat enough of those talking trees. Could be able to finish the channel. Scatter Arrow not going to be there, and that is a success for HeroesHearth that is tired of losing these fights. They didn't get the kills, Gilly, but they are flexing right now, and they are standing their ground trying to even this game up or get close to it.
Excellent understanding of how much had been taken away from Team Freedom in that fight and what they needed to do, because Team Freedom were about to get 16, which means this next altar phase, that's a triple altar phase. That's not a place where they want to fall behind that. So getting that nearly evened up this game, and now HeroesHearth can focus on making sure that they get 16 and try to get some control back into this game.
Well, 16's picked up. Benediction now. You can get the double hammer from Uther. We also have the increase on Polymorph with Greater Polymorph picked up. So a lot more CC control potential here for Team Freedom. See if maybe you need the heals, maybe you need the stun. Generally, it's going to be the stun. The double stun, try and get that set up. And you have that diving Tracer. We've seen her get close to death. We'll see if they can maybe finish those now with these 16 talents.
Yeah, that might be enough to seal the deal. There's still Tranquility, and the Tacit are shielding to try to keep alive. McIntyre has been the focus for some of these chain CCs too, and I think it's a matter of whether or not he can get Earthquake off so that he gets the heals from that even as he is crowd controlled. Great dodge. Such a superb dodge from that Dragon's Arrow. Crowan very patient with his Tracer.
They committed a lot to that because they brought Dahaka down. Dahaka did do his job cleaning up that top lane, and Thrall, he's trying to get the double soak down as well. As you can see him on the minimap as a lot goes on here. We'll see as Dahaka starts to make his way up. We are at the 5th altar phase, Gilly, which means it's triple altars, but 16 now been picked up for HeroesHearth. No global on their side. We'll see if Team Freedom can find a way to make a little bit of magic happen. HeroesHearth is trying to see if they can thwart it before it ever starts.
Polymorph down. Crowan putting in some harassment toward Nazmus. HeroesHearth is sticking together against the globals, giving up bot in favor of just focusing on getting both. And with a pulse bomb now, taking down Hanzo. Crowan finds his way, threading the needle through to take out the primary damage dealer. There's just 2 tanks and 2 supports for Team Freedom, and likely that means 2 altars for HeroesHearth.
I'm not sure if he identified, I didn't get to see on whether the heals were on cooldown from Yoda, but I'm pretty sure that he agility too far out of cast range if there were heals available. That's something I'd like to go back and watch, but definitely a masterful kill there for Crowan, and it couldn't have come at a better time, as now we find ourselves in an even game, and we might just be opening up this bot lane in favor of HeroesHearth. We'll see if Team Freedom can hold this, as the assault on this bottom keep is in full effect.
The minions are still here. Nazmus goes forward through the side. Ishbu charges him back. Team Freedom hold that, but it's low, and you have the sieging Tassadar with the Psionic Echo. It's only a matter of time unless Team Freedom's willing to get really aggressive once they get Lutano back. Look at Nazmus, they're ready.
They're going in for the fight. We're seeing if they can dive in. There's gonna be the stun, there's gonna be the drop down, the tongue, the drag. Lutano, this time he's gonna have heals. The armor's gonna be there. Here comes the shift in. That's gonna provide some armor. Diablo, however, trying to isolate. Here comes the lightning breath.
Earthquake and Tranquility so good at holding their ground with the lightning breath too. A drag hits Crowan, but the root follow-up forces out. The tunneling claws, finally the fort goes down, and slammed into it is Yoda. The divine shield keeps him alive for the moment, but talking trees deep into the back line. Uther goes down.
He's going to try and provide that healing, but it's not going to be enough. Zugrug, the next to fall, and now things falling apart here for Team Freedom, and HeroesHearth gaining control of that bot lane, a significant part of this battleground. They're going to have sappers threatening core, and there will not be members back for Team Freedom to contest this next altar phase, which is a seemingly given here for HeroesHearth as they are turning up the heat.
Part of the situation is, as long as Crowan plays safely and plays well, and he does play well on this Tracer, you sacrifice damage to deal with the Tracer. And it's enough so that there's not even a concern enough to go into Kala's Light. Kala's Embrace, we talked about that, is enough for Crowan to heal back up. Crowan diving into the kill zone, maybe not exemplifying but what I was talking about, but he's fine. Oh man, stylishly dodging that drag too, but this is the thing, is you sacrifice some of your damage. You're completely reliant on that person who just died to get all the damage in.
15 armor appeared over Yoda. I don't know if there was like a misclick or whether he wasn't in range and ended up self-healing at the end of that, but something missed there. And Crowan willing to dive into the kill zone. That could be the nail in the coffin if we're not careful at this point of the game.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time for Heroes Hearth to get that bottom bell tower back, and they had to back off not knowing where, or for Freedom to get that bell tower back, backing off not knowing where Heroes Hearth is, being cautious about that. Talking Trees just chilling, hanging out down there while Heroes Hearth set the core of Team Freedom down to 4 health with this boss.
It's 20 tier picked up here, but should be able to fight back soon, but it's only going to take one altar, and one altar is all that's left. 20 should be picked up, but they have to find a point of entry, and that is hard because all their bottom and mid keeps are taken. They need to take this down to be able to engage. There's going to be a scatter arrow. Crowan looking for a target. They've got to get this down. 15 seconds out before the next altar. They do get it down. This is their last stand. They have to make their way over. We have Lightning Breath able to be used here. Ishbu trying to make this happen. They are chasing the Tracer, Gilly.
They get her. The Dragon's Arrow was really good. The rest of the team is just slowing them down, though, so that Malfurion can pick up this altar. He's on the other side of this.
Oh!
Within range of a Stormbolt. Now a drag hits. HeroesHearth Esports are going to lose their Malfurion. No, they are not. Brightwing goes down instead. And despite not having Tracer, somehow HeroesHearth still evens up the odds.
Yeah, but where's the damage going to come from right now? Zuggerug forced to Dwarf Toss out. Yoda willing to die for this. He wants to fall. He wants that redemption. They are not auto-attacking him, so Yoda is staying on that front line. He's got to get the interrupt. He's going in. He falls before he does get the interrupt. Zuggerug all that stands in between it, but things falling apart here for Team Freedom. Zuggerug going to be the next to fall, or is he as he stays alive? Yoda is back here, Gilly.
Healing static value jumps in, and a second kill finally gained for Team Freedom. They take out Malfurion somehow with a double warrior and Yoda being back. They get a little bit more, but now Lutano falls. Muradin's gone. Uther finally goes down for the second time, and with this death on Dahaka, HeroesHearth Esports wins the game and the series.
Wow, HeroesHearth could not have played that any better towards the end after losing the Tracer in the early game. Just pixels away from BBJ actually getting the channel. Zuggerug coming in with the max range Stormbolt prolonged that. But HeroesHearth, an infinite Archon on Tassadar, is so incredibly strong. Was able to help turn that team fight, I think, pretty significantly without the Tracer there. And that was a clutch moment. That got heated. The fact that Yoda's like, please kill me, I'm Uther, I'll come back, I just want to heal people. And they were able to avoid that. I think that was a good point.
I don't know where Malfurion was at in the rotation around the altar, but I guarantee you, BBJ was like, if only I was underneath the altar or off on this corner instead of right here where Zuggerug comes in and gets that Stormbolt. It was about as close as it comes. Crowan was trying to distract while they could do that, pull them away. He was the tasty target. The whole draft centered around trying to get a kill on him, and they did with the heads-up Dragon's Arrow to get the lockdown finally, because you could see him just drawing so many people up. But even with that, HeroesHearth Esports gets the win. Freedom won a game, so not the decisive 3-0. We saw moments where Freedom was able to get, maybe going to be able to contest them, but it's still good for HeroesHearth.
Uther Brightwing still has a little bit more work to do. And for you guys at home, we actually have a replay of that last fight. There's a lot to it. I don't know if we're going to be able to hit all of it. We're going to take a second look at this because the max range Stormbolt, just pause, look at that. I mean, the fact that you were so close to getting that channel, we'll go ahead and roll it forward, but everything about this for HeroesHearth, they were trying to completely zone out, keep BBJ alive, but the fact that he was able to live through that, and you can actually see primary target Yoda, he's in that situation where he wants to die in this situation. You're going to see him get dangerously low as Ishbu making the plays, and Yoda is willingly just smacking people with a hammer, begging to be killed because he has redemption, he has that. And BBJ, of course, getting that, and Yoda forced to go back in. And that's the moment where I kind of wondered, he actually got the Wave of Light out as he died. They tried to get the interrupt there, and there was quite a bit. Nasmus coming in trying to get the fight, but there was just too much firepower with that Infinite Archon. You can see Talking Trees, no Tracer, no problem, as he just shielded himself and stayed alive, and that's just way too much to deal with. But such a clutch fight there by HeroesHearth, and Talking Trees, for somebody who is not currently in the league at the moment, has definitely made a statement for himself going forward, whether it's next year or with a new team or whatever it is, whether it's his open team that he's going to be working with, which I'm sure he is, he has a place. He put on a performance today. I am impressed.
He did. A lot of Tassadar, good plays there, and some Genji, but I think you can look at that and look back to that as a draft too, because you see a double support, double warrior versus a double support, double warrior, or not even double warrior. Having the Thrall was a big deal, that McIntyre could still be able to shell out a lot of damage while still being the bruisery type hero that Thrall is with that build too. And then Tassadar, yes, Infinite Archon, Twilight Archon, when you hit 20, it does a lot to be able to put up that kind of damage. And Uther and Brightwing, especially not having Emerald Wind or the Divine Storm, maybe the adjustment there, but wanting the Divine Shield for the pulse bombs just in case, ended out that it was hard for them to try to get the damage. You could see it even in that bot bell tower fight where they could just retreat back to the safety of the Diablo, the Earthquake, and the Tranquility.
It was just way too much. That the one fight that they did lose, BBJ had no mana. And so everybody's wondering, like, wait, hold on, why is he not healing here? And he just didn't have enough mana. I think he was close to getting that. But the fact that they were able to hold on with that composition, but I still go back to that collusion play on Brightwing mid lane. That was that's style points, whether you win or lose. That's something that you're like, all right, look, we lost. I probably don't feel that great, but at least I got a cool highlight out of it. That was fun. I don't know if we'll see a whole lot of Brightwing Bruther, I guess is what that will be called, Brightwing Uther. I don't know if we'll see a lot of that going forward. It was very situational. Again, the last time I saw this style setup was against a Crowan on a Towers of Doom with a Brightwing. And we've seen it at times. Even HeroesHearth has done it. It just... the results, it's tough. It is extremely tough to go that. I would have liked to see maybe Holy Shock at level 4 for Uther to get a little bit more damage in some of those situations where they were really close to getting the kill. That might have been able to turn it, but either way, well fought and well met at that point for both teams.
Well, well met to this guy right here, Crowan from HeroesHearth Esports. Hey, Crowan, congratulations. You guys get the win over Team Freedom, who looked really good yesterday versus Simplicity. How are you guys feeling right now?
I mean, we're feeling pretty good. You know, it's a little iffy coming in with a sub, but Talking Trees played very, very well. So thanks you to him for subbing. And now it feels good to come out and get the 1-0. You know, looking to continue our success, you know, throughout the last year and coming into this year and after midseason brawl.
Yeah, so I talked to Justin or after they had their win earlier today, and he was talking about how he feels like you guys are probably at the top. Maybe they can contest you, but you guys coming back in with that mid-season brawl experience, do you feel like it was difficult for you guys to adjust back into the NA meta, coming right back from the mid-season brawl, or do you guys feel like you're just fine to stay right at the top of the region?
I think it's a little bit of both. You know, there's not that much time to prepare specifically for just NA, whereas the other teams, you know, had a lot of time to just prepare and practice for specifically North America. But we learned a lot at midseason. I think that we can take lessons we learned there, you know, some execution stuff, some drafting, you know, a little bit of everything and bring it back to North America to solidify ourselves as one of the top teams, if not the top.
When I talked to Zagrag before this match for the interview, he said that he expected it to be a pretty close series with you guys. Were you guys expecting that too, or did you feel like this 3-1 is a little more consistent with your expectations?
I feel like it was a little more consistent with their expectations, although, you know, I didn't quite know where to rank Team Freedom, and they did look strong in their first match, so it wouldn't have caught me by surprise if they put up, you know, a pretty big fight in this, but I think a 3-1 is, you know, we were aiming for the 3-0. Unfortunately, couldn't find success in Game 3, but, you know, 3-1 will take it.
Well, your play was looking really good. Awesome to see you have some more Tracer games. I'll send you over to Jayhow now.
Crowan, speaking of Tracer, the last time I remember seeing this type of situation where somebody is full in on stopping you with a Brightwing was 2 years ago. You remember these games with Gale Force?
Oh, I do. Those were the days.
Okay, so now it's been a while since we've seen you on Tracer because it was Arthalon for a bit, then we saw Mac on it on MSB. It's always kind of been that hero that we knew you could play but haven't been playing it. What's the change now? Is it just because Arthalon is out, or is this a hero that you're likely to play going forward?
I'm not 100% sure about that. You know, we'll have to see going forward, but it's a hero that I'm definitely comfortable on. We have multiple Tracer players on our team, so it just depends on which direction that we want to go. You know, it's something that was in my repertoire, and I'm glad to pull it back out because, you know, it's a pretty fun hero.
It looked pretty good. I could just see all the minor things you were doing. It was a pleasure to watch. Let's talk about the player you guys brought in, Talking Trees. He's kind of similar to Arthalon in the sense that Arthalon has a very diverse hero pool, and that's something that Talking Trees kind of prides himself on. When you were looking for a replacement for this week, were you looking for someone with similar playstyle? Was Talking Trees just the best option for what you guys needed? Tell me a little bit about how you guys came about picking him up for the weekend.
Well, it's a few things. Definitely Arthlon's role on Heroes Hearth is very unique in the fact that he plays so many different things. So it's someone that, has the experience, knows how to perform under pressure, is able to flex and play a lot of those things that we need, whether it be like, the Tassadar, the carry, or even anything else that we were looking to bring out. So Talking Trees sort of filled all of those things that we were looking for, and he was a great fit for our team for this weekend for the substitution spot.
Well, things definitely worked out for you guys today. And with this win over Team Freedom, who had a good start yesterday, confidence-wise, obviously not having Arthlon this weekend, were you expecting this type of victory? Were you hoping for this type of victory? And is it kind of the start that you guys need to avoid a potential hangover from the success that you guys have had?
I believe that even with the lack of Arthon this week, I still think we were looking for a very dominant victory. I think that it could have been a little bit cleaner, and some things here and there could have been improved on. But overall, regardless, like we've come such a far way, and the growth that we've had since last year, like we're going to be aiming at the top, and that's going to be our goal, and nothing less than that is what we want.
Well, with that goal in mind, how do you? Obviously, you guys have had a very unique story up to this point. Obviously, forming together about a year ago this time in Open Division, playing your way through, obviously making your way to top 8 globally. That's quite a story so far. What do you do now in this season, in this phase, to continue to keep that story alive, to take the next step?
I mean, goal is BlizzCon, getting top 4, maybe, taking it is always the goal. We'll see how much we improve by then. But no, we're always looking to every single tournament we go to, every single week of HGC, just taking what we've learned last week and the last tournaments and just keep on improving and building and building and building. Because, like, the ceiling, we have not reached our ceiling, I fully believe. And I don't know when we will, if we will. But yeah, we're going to the top.
I mean, it's good to hear that you haven't reached your ceiling. I've definitely hit a few in my days. Good luck going forward, and congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much.
Karun, I have one more question for you before I let you go celebrate with your team and give some shout-outs. You guys have shown more Blaze priority than any other team so far that we've had in NA. Do you feel like that's mid-season brawl leftover? Was that for this series in particular, or is it just because he is so strong?
Well, I think that Blaze is a very strong hero. He fills a role that not many other heroes at all in the game fill. The priority, can be situational, but I think that we've seen pretty much throughout the world that, Blaze is a pretty strong hero. Bunker is pretty good. So,
do you expect that to continue with the patch coming in next week?
I think honestly that Bunker could receive another few nerfs and still be one of the best ultimates in the game. So.
All right, cool. Thank you for your insight. That helps me prep too. And now, if you want to give any shout outs, please do so.
Sure. First and foremost, we're top in North America in cheers. So thank you, everybody who's cheered, who's supported, all of you in Twitch chat, all of you at home. Just thank you so much. It really, fuels me and all of us on Heroes Hearth. And really, we're just so appreciative and thankful of that. And yeah, shout outs to my team. Shout outs to Talking Trees for coming in to sub. Shout outs to our manager Reno. Shout outs to our coach Cawthon Luck. Cawthon Luck is always a very pivotal, point in our success as a team. Shout out to Brasky and Ian, owners of Heroes Hearth. Check out HeroesHearth.com. Got some merch on the website, all that good stuff, builds and guides. HeroesHearth.com. Go for it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us, Kron. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Even got a much love.
Yeah. It's always good.
For everyone cheering for him. I'm really happy to see Heroes Hearth come in. Obviously, still show the same level of dominance, same level of play. Importantly, because as you and I talked about at the beginning of this series, that's not always the case for teams coming back from international events. It can be difficult transitioning back to learning new patches, learning the meta back in your region.
Well, it was actually something we talked about coming back from Western, because it was their first international that they had gone to, the regional between our Western regions. But then all of a sudden they go there, and they came back from that, and they swept throughout part 2. So they definitely came back strong from that. So this is definitely a very good start against the team that we know will be top 4 in North America. So definitely a good start. So it's good to see.
It is. Tomorrow, there will be more good things to see. And what are they, you ask me? Well, let me tell you. In Europe, we start with Leftovers versus Team Dignitas. Leftovers got their first series win of Phase 2, and after having a tough time in Phase 1, it's great to see. They are going to be going up against Dignitas. We'll see if they can keep that up, and it's the first time that we get to see Dignitas back from their mid-season brawl, almost Grand Championship. They are the runner-up. Monkey Menagerie will go up against Zealots in North America. No Tomorrow takes on Tempo Storm. First time we're seeing them with their new roster, or well, not quite their new roster, but them playing post-Psalm. And finally, Simplicity versus Endemic.
You know what I'm looking forward to tomorrow?
Hmm.
I'm going to tune into EU.
Okay.
It's going to be first thing in the morning.
Yes.
And there's probably going to be Trixler and Caldor talking about North America.
Usually is.
And Caldor is going to make a very definitive comment affirming his position on what he thinks of Brightwing as a hero. And I'm sure he'll throw your name in there.
Yeah, he's going to throw my name in there because at first I was like, they automatically win. And then I immediately was like, I don't know about this draft. And then she lost. So Caldor, consider yourself warned. Don't you dare.
Dun, dun, dun.
I still love her.
Has it been announced who the sub is for Tempo, or is it public, or is the drama continue to build for tomorrow?
I mean, we know.
We know.
We
But do
probably
they know?
shouldn't say. I don't think we can say. So we're just not going to say.
We're just going to build the drama. Tune in tomorrow to find out.
Cap. Okay,
It's
we have not announced it, so don't say anything.
I actually am very excited to see how he performs, but we'll get into more of that tomorrow. I don't want to give too many teasers because then people just get mad.
Right, and this is also, it's important to say it's not the necessarily
Yes, it's a sub.
Yeah, it's a sub, so keep that in mind too. But still good to see Tempo Storm back for the midseason brawl. We'll be happy to see you all back here tomorrow. We're heading out for the night. We'll see you tomorrow for the last day of week 1 of phase 2 of the HGC. Good night.
Add that protection, Nasmus.
Yes.
But Zugrug, however, on the front line already low here.
Yeah, and Earthquake's